Let's now do a charging test of the Nissan Ariya. The maximum speed according to Nissan is 130 kilowatts of DC power. So let's see what we're going to achieve on this powerful charging station. Let's also have a look at how it looks inside when you're charging the car. And as you can see here, it's just a very simple screen, nothing that detailed, but just tells you what time. In this case, I'm sorry, 54 minutes until 100%, and that's about it. But maybe if we turn on the ignition of the car, we can see slightly better. Let's have a look. And this is it. We are charging. Maybe let's have a look somewhere. Electric energy consumption. Maybe here. No. Apps. EV. And this. No. This. No. At 35%, we have almost full power, 129 out of 130 kilowatts. So the Nissan Ariya, as you can see, is doing very well in the charging test, doing almost 1%, just 1%, 1 kilowatt less than its claimed power, which is very, very good. You can see at 36%. Well, hello, welcome to the new video. And this time we are going to have a look at this brilliant Japanese electric car, the sort of competitor to the cars like Skoda Enyaq, VW ID4, and others, which there are plenty of. And I have to say, I really do love this car. And do you know why? Particularly because it has a near 50-50 weight distribution. This two-wheel drive model. The four-wheel drive model has exactly 50-50 weight distribution. And this is crucial for the car's handling. And also I like the design. Look how futuristic this car looks. I mean, it looks literally Japanese, sharp and Japanese like a samurai. I really do like it. And also I like that the car, for a crossover, is really aerodynamic. Yes, I understand that by design this is a slightly older car and that they have newer cars, more aerodynamic cars, and also in terms of technology more advanced. But this design still achieves a drag coefficient of 0.297, which was really, really good at the time that this car came out, and it's still really good for a big electric crossover, big electric SUV. And that is achieved by the full plastic mask. We only have cooling here in the lower part. We have active flaps in there, which act also like the aerodynamic element. We then have these massive air tunnels, which clean the airflow around the tires, around the side of the car. We also have a very small frontal area for an SUV, so it starts really, really low, just about here. Then we have a nice bonnet, rounded bonnet, and we have slightly curved windshield as well, which is very important. So again, that's a very clean change of direction. Then also, you can come here to this side. We have the flap for the charging over here. And this flap, of course, we have the DC charging, and the DC charging is up to 130 kilowatts of power. We are yet to have a test of that. I'm going to have a test soon about the charging, about 130 kilowatts, and AC charging is at optional 22 kilowatts, which this car has. So that's a pretty good charging speed for its architecture. Now that we're here, we also have to talk about the wheels and the suspension. So the car is running McPherson and multi-link suspension. In terms of the positive caster geometry, this car is running a very good amount of positive caster geometry, and we have these very nice aerodynamic wheels with these plastic aerodynamic covers on top of them, and they are really nice wheels. We are running the tire size of 255/45 R20, and that is because the car weighs at 2.1 ton, 2,140 kilograms. So they've given the car quite a wide tires. And also we have very good tires. We have Dunlop Sport, FP Sport Max 050. So really, really good tire. Actually, this is a really, really good tire for the car. In terms of brakes, we have 258 millimeter brake discs on both axles, which is very, very nice indeed. Okay, we have the wheelbase of 2.77 meters on the car, and again we are here talking about the aerodynamics. So we can have this very, very swooping roof line, very nice and very slight curvature to it, and we have this really nice rear wing. You can come here to the rear part. We have this really nice aerodynamic rear wing, which you have two separate channels in it, in this wing, so that leaves the air around here. And then yeah, and also another nice aerodynamic thing, the canopy of the car is curved in this direction, which is again very important in this day to achieving a good aerodynamic efficiency. Now that I'm also here in the rear, I'm going to talk about I have to tell you about the geometry of the wheels, which is such that the car is running more negative camber at the rear as well as toe-in at the rear. This car is one of the most fun cars in this category to drive, really. It doesn't need adaptive damping, it has passive damping, just a fantastic setup of the suspension that makes the car, even despite its big weight, really fun to drive. Then we have this design in the rear. So we have a connected rear lights with this light bar, nice Nissan badging hidden in the light. Just very simple, very elegant, very clean. Okay, let me open the boot space. And this is a really, really nice and practical boot. We have 466 liter standard capacity here in the boot, and you can come closer. You can separate the boot into 3 sections actually. As you can see, 3 sections. You have underfloor storage, and you even have the Bose subwoofer in there, the air compressor for the tire, and the tire kit. And also one other thing that I like here in the boot is that you have this strap that you connect here, and it sort of locks in the cable so that it doesn't move around in the boot when you're driving through the corners, which is pretty cool. Other than that, we have 2 strong lights. We have some hooks also in here, which is practical as well, and I like the quality carpeting that you have here in the boot. So yeah, really, really nice. And now let's go and let me show you around how it is seated at the rear. Sorry, it doesn't work. But first, before that, let me tell you, this car has the battery of 87 kilowatt hours. So this is the long range model of the car, 2-wheel drive long range. We have 87 kilowatt hours net capacity battery, and it's made by Cattle. It's NMC technology battery, and it gives the car the range of 330 miles or 531 kilometers. Yeah. Okay, so let me show you how it is to be seated at the rear of the car. So as you can see, the space in here is massive. It is really, really great, this space. And here in the door, we also have good practicality. So we have decently sized door bins. We have a separate small storage area here. 2 speakers, this nice Alcantara lining trim. So it's really, really nice. And then in terms of space, it's also good for my feet, even though we are sitting in an electric car. So it's actually decent. Also good for my head, despite the swooping roof line. Very good for the feet. Very good in terms of width as well. And in terms of comfort, it is fantastic as well. So we have 2 USB-C connectors for charging. We have heated seats. We have air conditioning in here. We also have a big panorama which you can open. We have LED lights in the roof lining. We have these 2 hooks for the coat, and also a foldable or armrest with cup holders. Also, what is very cool is the sitting position. It's really nice and comfy, really comfortable for long journeys. It's a nice blue Napa leather. It feels special to me. Yeah, this is a proper family car. Very good competitor to the other cars. Also, I think the door opening is quite wide. Also, the angle to which you can open the door and access the isofix anchor points is very good. So I really do like that. Now, the last thing I need to tell you, or the second to last, is the conception of the car. So what is very important in a car, if you can step slightly further to the rear, the conception. And as you can see here, the seat is somewhere around here. So that is relatively good, how far it is from the front wheels. So it's a decent driver's conception, yeah. If you start up the car, because this is the comfortable start function, so if I start up the car, as you can see, it moves the steering wheel, doesn't move the seat. So I have the seat in my position, as you can see, where I sit. I do have to say it could be slightly more rearwards than it is, but overall it's a good position and I do like it. And lastly, let's have a look at the engine, or the electric motor, as we say. So here it is. And as this is the more powerful variant, we have the front electric motor, and this electric motor is producing 242 horsepower and 300 newton meters of torque. It can tow 750 kilograms of unbraked trailer, and it does 0 to 100 kilometers in 7.6 seconds, and the maximum top speed is 160 kilometers per hour. If you wanted a higher top speed, you have to go for the four-wheel drive model, which gives you, I think, 180 kilometers per hour. Here in the engine bay, I can see a lot of like sort of these sway bars, like here in the front. There is another one, so it wants the car to be really stiff during cornering. The engine, of course, is mounted in front of the front damper towers, so there is some weight, and that's why the driver needs to be seated quite far in the rear, or it's good to be seated to make a counterweight, a counterbalance to the powertrain of the car. But yeah, as always with electric car, very simple, very easy access. No need to worry about many things to go wrong. Yeah. So yeah, that would be it to the walkaround of this fantastic, beautiful Nissan Ariya, which there will come the Nismo sporty model as well soon. And let's now talk about the experience, the real drive, the real user experience by sitting inside the car, driving it further down the road, and telling you more about the experience with the Nissan Ariya. Well, hello, welcome to the new video, and my week with the Nissan Ariya 2025 is coming to an end, and so we have to go through the experience of this car. And I have to tell you, this is the car, this is the crossover, electric crossover, which is under the radar. What a great car, honestly. Really good in almost all aspects. It is fantastic. Let me start up with the interior. I love about the interior that it is both high quality, it is both extremely quirky, so it is not as usual as you do get in the Skoda, these typical interiors like from normal cars. It is just, they had so much ideas and they all came here. So let me tell you some quirks and features that we have here. So the first thing that was very interesting for me is that you can move this central console with these two buttons over here. So you can move it rearwards or frontwards in both direction, quite a long way. And yeah, I find this really good. So you can set it up to your driving position. Under the console there you have the space for the phone. You have one USB-C connector and one USB-A connector. Both of them are for multimedia, and also a 12-volt socket. What is typical about this EV, of course, is that you have this flat floor, so you can stick your foot to the passenger seat, so that's pretty cool as well. And therefore under the armrest you only have the space for the wireless charging and some small storage area, but really that's about it. In front of the central armrest you have the two cup holders. You can close them like this, and you have the gearbox selector, which has also B mode integrated, so you can switch in between the drive and the battery region very quickly. And then you have these buttons, these haptic touch buttons like from iPhone, which is pretty cool. And also here in the central part of the dashboard you also have haptic buttons. So you have this wood, you have this sort of dark wood which you can press, and you have buttons for drive mode. So you have standard, sport and eco. You have the e-pedal driving, so you can stop the car basically by region, which is pretty cool, and it worked actually quite well, but I'm not the kind of electric user that is used to using this. You have automatic parking button, and also these two buttons for close and open, which I didn't know what it really was for, because if you want to open the sunroof, you can do it over here. So I was wondering, so then I tried it, and you can open this central storage area, which is actually quite deep. Yeah, it's actually really quite deep, and yeah, so you can store many things in there. It's electrically controlled, and you can simply close it like this again. I think that's very quirky, that's very unusual in many cars. And then I love the interior, which is around you as well. So you have this nice, beautiful blue Alcantara trim throughout the whole dashboard and door cards and the whole interior, really. It goes also through the B-pillar and into the rear doors. So really, really beautiful. It has high quality stitching. It's just so beautiful to touch. Well, anyway, so let me start driving and let me tell you more about the experience with this, I have to say, incredibly good electric crossover, electric SUV, which is sort of under the radar, maybe unnoticed. Yeah, so we have the weight of over 2 tons, 2 tons 120 kilograms, which is typical crossover, electric crossover weight, really. But the efficiency which is paired to this is absolutely incredible, and particularly also for the date of the technology, because now in 2025 this car can be considered slightly dated. Yeah, it's not as nowadays like Nissan Leaf. So yeah, let me get to the core. So we have the 91 kilowatt hours battery, which is gross capacity, 87 kilowatt hours netto capacity. This gives us the range of 531 kilometers in this case, because this is the two-wheel drive long range version. And I have to say, I was really happy with the long-term efficiency. So I was doing, together with motorways, around 18.4, 18.5 kilowatt hours per 100 kilometers only, which is actually pretty cool. And then you can do separate journeys in around 15, 16. The lowest I got was 13 point something kilowatt hours per 100 kilometers, which I consider is absolutely brilliant for the weight and actually size of the car, because it's really the size of the second generation VW Touareg. So I think the efficiency is really good, and also the range. One other thing I have to tell you, on the motorway I did 22 point something kilowatt hours per 100 kilometers at 130 kilometers per hour, which again I think is really good. So the range with this car, you really do not need to worry. I did my usual 220 kilometers on the motorway. I started with around 86% and finished still with 35% left in the battery and a good 160 kilometers of range. So it is a very comfortable car to use as an electric car. It's a reliable car, and I don't think you're gonna be annoyed with the range of it. It's really good. Yeah. Then other things I love is how completely quiet it is. So it's really beautiful. It's just so calm to use. Yeah. Also the pedals, they are quite easy. The steering is quite nice. Even though I drive in the sports mode where I have the stiffest steering, it's still very nice. It gets you good feedback, really good feedback. It's very precise. It just feels Japanese. It feels they did their homework in all of the areas. Yeah. All of the controls are very close to you, very easy to navigate. Also the volume here, although you can do it on the steering wheel. You have this big switch in the middle. It's a lovely car to drive, honestly. Then in terms of power, 240 horsepower, 300 Newton meters. This car isn't the sort of SUV that would kick you in your bottom and drive off. It's just a very comfortable. It has sort of this linear get and go feel from it. So it doesn't include, it's not going to be on the list in between the fastest electric crossovers, but it's definitely a comfy one, and it's still a decently swift one. If you need to overtake, it is no problem for this powertrain with 114 horsepower per ton, and that's actually very decent for overtaking, particularly if it's electric. 114 horsepower per ton. Then if we talk about the suspension and the way the concept of the car, the way they designed it, it is absolutely fabulous. If I compare it to the VW Group products, this is much better to drive, really. It is superior to drive. So in the 4-wheel drive model, you have 50-50 weight distribution, but even in this 2-wheel drive model, you have a near 50-50 weight distribution. So the weight is very well distributed, and you can just feel it when you're driving the car. It feels very nicely balanced, feels very well controlled. The damping is Japanese, it is stiff. This car is controlled, it is not floaty. It has these little bounce at the rear, but very sort of soft, because we have firm springs. So I really rather like it. Although some people might say that it's a little bit uncomfortable, but really it's just solid. It behaves well, it controls the body well, and that's how this car behaves. It is really beautiful. And then in terms of the behavior during cornering and fun during cornering and the speed of cornering, this car is excellent. So we have big positive caster. The car leans very correctly on the outer rear wheel. It's just beautiful during cornering. The understeer comes very late. It feels like a driver's SUV in this direction, which I really do like. And then there is the wheel geometry, which unlike again, I need to compare it to VW Group electric products, which they have toe out at the rear, and they want to prefer stability. This car can be really tail happy when you're on it. When you're at the limit, this car is very tail happy, and when you turn off the ESC, the ESP system, ESC control, you can have loads of fun. This car is oversteery, so you need to correct it with the steering wheel. It actually feels sort of like a hot hatch in this regard. I really had loads of fun. I was really surprised how easy this car goes to oversteer, and I actually really loved it. So if you throw the car into the corner, it just oversteers, and you have a big smile on your face, even though you're sitting in a family SUV, electric SUV. So you wouldn't expect that ever. Yeah. And then when you drive very sort of smoothly during cornering, but at a high speed, the car grips very nicely. It is really safe. Yeah. So man, I have to say, I really do like this car, because it just feels different. It just feels unusual to the other cars. The design of it is somewhat so beautiful, so Japanese. It looks really nice, and then the whole feel of quality inside this car just brings me joy. And I have a feeling actually that I'm sitting in a high quality product, in an electric car that actually is really high quality and I can rely on. And I'm not sad or ashamed that I'm sitting in an electric SUV. You can be really proud that you can have drivers fun, and everything just feels Japanese. It's well thought through. It is very quirky as well, so they weren't bored when designing this car. I also love this haptic feedback from this wood, which you can press. I really do love it actually. So yeah, I think what this car actually needs is an overhaul, a small facelift to this car, to give it a slightly newer technology. Maybe the current battery technology of the Nissan that is going to be in the Nissan Leaf, and the newer sort of interface into the software. And that's about it really. This car, other than that, is absolutely fabulous. And if you're thinking about this size of an electric crossover, I would actually tell you, stay away from the Skoda and the VW products and other competitors, even also Hyundai. And even despite maybe slower charging, the 130 kilowatts, but for longer, take this car. This is really high quality, very well thought through, very comfortable, and mostly and mainly at my channel, fun to drive. And that is a thing that is extremely important, I believe, in a car. When you have a car that you can also have fun when you're driving it, it is irreplaceable. So yeah, I think that would be it to my look at the Nissan Ariya. Well, and if you found the video useful, well, keep watching, keep subscribing, because more videos are coming on very soon, and I hope to see you in the very next video. In the meantime, take care of you, and goodbye.